now tuned in to the Lady Charmaine live show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine. And as always, I have another great interview for you today. So when you think of movies like Meet the Blacks, Intruder, and Traffic, only one name should come to mind, and I tell you who it is coming up right after this. My guest today is a film producer, writer, and director. He hit the scene with his first film, Dead Tone, followed by The Hustle and then Knight's Tale, the movie, and the series. And in the past 5 years, he brought us Meet the Blacks, Traffic, and Intruder. And he's here today to talk about his brand new movie in theaters right now, Black and Blue. Help me welcome back to the Lady Charmaine live show, Mr. Deon Taylor. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing good. It's so good to have you back, Deon. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm proud of you, man. This show is. I gotta wait in line to get on the show now. I'm like, God,
you're funny.
What I gotta do?
He's so crazy.
On the Lady Charmaine show, man. What I gotta do to get on this show?
Well, you know, I just love you. I love what you're doing. I love how you representing Sacramento and Hollywood for us. Thank you so much for bringing some of that coin to the city, as you did a couple of your movies here that we're definitely going to talk about. And I just want to make sure that everyone goes out and support this film. I can't say enough about it. We're going to get into it because, y'all, this is one of the movies I'm not going to lie. I was sitting in the movie theater telling myself, oh, this is good. The whole time I'm like, oh, this is a good movie. And my husband was like, yeah. So I want to let everybody know, please go out and support this movie. So Deon, I know you right now, you're just coming off of a whirlwind with this movie. Are you able to settle down so far?
You know what? I am, but I'm not. You know, we're in the throes of the second week of the film. So, you know, the second weekend is just as big as the first weekend. So we've been, you know, still out actively promoting the movie, and obviously most recently around Black and Blue, you know, people are responding just incredibly to the film. But we've also had a bit of a war with the movie because there's been several theater chains that, you know, are not selling tickets to the movie or don't want to play the movie for certain reasons. So it's been difficult the last week or so just fighting those battles and making sure people are able to go see the movie. And it's also been, you know, a breath of fresh air to see that the movie's actually had the highest audience cinema score of the last 5 years. So that's been pretty crazy. Tracking the movie at 95% is insane.
The movie is so good, and I don't know why they want to really hate on the movie, because let me tell you something. Your movies, Deon, remind me of rap songs, because you know how a lot of rappers, they're socially conscious and they rap about what's going on in their community and what's going on in our nation, and that's what your movies do to me. It's like you're bringing to life what's on film of what's going on and making us socially conscious, like Traffic. So I wanted to talk about Traffic because we know there's a lot of sex trafficking that's going on. You shot that film right here in Sacramento. Is that the intent, even when you did Traffic? So tell us about that. What is the intent behind your movies? And let's start with Traffic.
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, I know I'm the only Black filmmaker that jumps genres. That we've had, you know, from comedy to horror to thrillers. But what I love is, I love issues. I love things that are current, you know, that speak to me where I'm going like, damn, that's interesting. And why is it like that? Or why don't anybody say anything about it? And I don't know. It's just a weird angle that I take as a filmmaker where those things speak to me. And then I want to figure out a way to put it into the art that I push out. And Traffic was no different. I was actually in the middle of writing a thriller, and I was like, man, I want to make something really cool and different. And I was a real big fan of a movie called Breakdown with Kurt Russell. And I was like, man, I would love to make something similar to that or like that in that vein. And I had read an article about trafficking in my area and received a letter from the school, my daughter's school at the time, about kids being trafficked in my area. And I'm like, well, they don't traffic Black people, so we ain't got nothing to worry about. And boy, was I wrong. After I looked up went down the rabbit hole, started researching. I was blown away. I was blown away to find out that I had been lied to, in terms of trafficking. People don't realize that young black and brown girls are the most trafficked people in the entire world here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And in heavy hit, impoverished areas. So when you start thinking about South Sacramento, we start thinking about Oakland, Compton, Long Beach, you know what I mean? Like when you start getting into that, Baltimore, all of a sudden you're like, man, the numbers are staggering that there's 3 and 4 people being trafficked a day in all these cities. And I'm more like, well, why don't we know this? So that to me was a horror movie. So that's why I dropped it into the movie Traffic and actually had enough energy to even call the film Traffic. And at first, critics were like, you can't do that. You can't make a movie that's a thriller and drop this type of information in it. And it was not received well. And then about 4 months later, when it came out in the theaters and the audiences found the movie, it became, a phenom. The movie actually was nominated for Best Picture of the Year for the NAACP Image Awards. It won Pan-African Movie of the Year. It just became this thing where it was like, oh man, well, you see something that people don't really understand, and when they see it, they go, wow, that's different. And I don't know, that's just how I shoot. That's how I shoot. And it's no different with Black and Blue. Going into that movie, this was a script that really only dealt with, it was a run chase action sequence movie where I was like, wow, this is pretty fun and cool. And Sony was like, yeah, it's a really fun movie. And then when I read it again, I said, well, it's really fun, but it's a real issue inside of this movie. And the issue is that this young lady sees something and she basically doesn't conform to the blue side. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, let me make the movie and I'll show you. so once we made the film, it's been like, oh, wow, we didn't really understand that angle of it. And yeah, you don't understand it because we live in it. You know what I mean? And obviously we've been affected by that greatly, with Stephon Clark recently here in Sacramento with the body cam footage and basically no one saying anything and somebody being shot almost 30 times. It's like, man, at some point, your partner or someone has to say what we did wasn't right or what you did wasn't right. And that's what that movie actually deals with.
And I want to say thank you, first of all, because I know that that's something very touchy and you have to be very courageous to make a film like this to show that there is a person in blue willing to stand up for what is right, in the face of wrong. And that's why I commend you so much, because that takes a whole lot of guts to do, because the power behind that badge and you're a person that has the badge and what goes on in the inside. And that took a lot of guts to step up. And I want to say thank you to Hollywood for being willing to back you with that. Because I'm sure a lot of that goes on, in the police station for you to even bring this to life. And people don't want to know that really goes on. Well, they don't want people to know that really probably could happen behind the scenes. And to silence, even if it comes to your partner. So that's why I just say kudos to you. That's why it was so good. And the woman had to have the courage to be able to do that. So why did you choose a woman to play the lead role as the snitch?
Well, so the choosing a woman was a quick choice. We were trying to figure out how do you do something different and unconventional, and that came up. But I was blown away after we actually started having the conversation about a woman. I was blown away to find out this is the first movie ever in cinematic history to have a black female lead play a police officer. So once I discovered that, I said, okay, this is history. So that was a no-brainer, and then secondly, it was like, what is she representing? And a lot of people don't really understand this, and I've been explaining it to a lot of people. There's a difference between a snitch and a whistleblower. Mm-hmm. And people go, well, what do you mean? What does that mean? Well, a snitch is someone that tells on someone in order to save themselves. Right? There's somebody that's done something and they're like, I'm going to tell on you because I'm going to free myself. Well, that's a snitch. That's what we talk about in the hood. A whistleblower is someone that tells on someone or tells information to masses of people in order to save masses of people. Right? It's not about themselves. It's about what they're seeing that could affect you. And we use the term whistleblower, which we're seeing right now in Hollywood a lot with Trump and whoever this is that was in the office that heard that phone call and said, "Yo, this ain't right for all mankind," right? So
Right.
you want those people. So in this movie, Black and Blue, Naomie Harris plays a whistleblower. She basically sees a young man get shot and killed, and she's like, "That's not right." And how many more kids have you killed? And what else have you done?
Right.
You know what I mean? And at this point, it's like, no, I got to get you off the streets because you are killing people that look like me. And at that point, that's when you know, obviously the movie takes off and she doesn't conform. But yeah, it is a very tough movie. And it's a fun action movie. And I tell people we try to drop the piece of candy inside the, you know, put the medicine inside the candy. So you get it that way, and it's great because it has started a lot of conversation. But yeah, you're right. The movie was very daring and challenging for me as a black filmmaker because you could actually make a movie like this, and if it doesn't work, it's over. Right. You know what I mean? Like if it's not received correctly, or people say, "Oh man, you had a different agenda with that film," then all of a sudden the phone stops ringing and you're not working. But I'm a little bit different because I'm actually an independent filmmaker, so I don't depend on studios to make movies. I just really want to make really, really dope art that people see, and that in a couple years from now, instead of you being like, "Oh, what was that movie again?" A couple years from now, you're like, "Yo, I really love Black and Blue. I really love Traffic." You know, movies that have weight, movies that people want to remember, people want to watch over again. You know, not the traditional, you made a movie last weekend and people don't even remember it the next morning.
Right.
Those, like they have a lot of those going on right now. I know you know that. Right?
You know I do.
When you see it, you're like, "Damn, I just seen that. Damn, did I see that?" He's like, "No, I don't want that movie at all."
Oh, I'm just laughing because I just saw a movie like that. And that's how I felt. I mean, the car was
You're
just
like,
quiet.
what the hell? Yeah, why did he even see that movie? Like, but that's what they tend to let us do all the time. Do you know what I mean? So movies that have messages, movies that actually are, you know, and if you think about it, you know, what are those heavy movies that you love? You know, you love movies like Heat. You watch, you know, Shawshank Redemption over and over again. You watch, you know what I mean? Like you can name so many of them. You watch the X movie, Spike Lee's film. I mean, these are heavy movies that you love. That when they come on TV, you like, "I'm gonna watch that again."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
right.
Then you have all these other movies where you're like, you wouldn't remember. You forgot it before you got out your seat. You know, so it's like, you know, so I'm fighting, you know, on a very independent scale. I'm fighting to try to make those types of films, movies that actually have something to say.
Well, I want to say thank you so much because you're doing it hands down. Has anybody ever said that Naomie Harris looks like Michael Jackson's sister? We was watching the film and we were like,
"She good show." You know what? I'm gonna hang up this phone. I'm getting off the phone. Bye.
I am so serious. She had facial expressions like they could have been brother and sister. I promise you. And when my husband said it in the theater, I said, "Honey, I was thinking the same thing." It was facial expressions that she made that looked like, I'm talking about Michael Jackson from the Thriller album. I'm talking about from Thriller. We go.
That's so
but
funny.
I'm serious. So now go watch it again. I know it's your film. Go watch it again. You go say, "Yes, she do. Yes, she does." So
he might look like somebody had a meme like that, and I seen that. I'm like, man, people crazy as hell, man. But I will say this: that young lady, obviously, you know, she was nominated for an Academy Award last year for Moonlight. You know, she's in all the Bond movies. Naomie Harris, well, I mean, it's no secret now. I mean, she has taken off after this film. She's now the lead in Venom, Marvel's movie, and she just booked another giant film with Johnny Depp. But she is phenomenal. And if you haven't seen this movie, I'm encouraging everybody out there that's listening to this show today, take a second and go see Black and Blue. It's such a fun movie to watch. It's so timely. It's so important. It has such a deep running message, which is basically be the change. And a lot of the credit of this film is basically on the shoulders of Naomie Harris and Tyrese. They are absolutely incredible. And I really believe, and we're pushing now, I really believe they should be considered for Academy Awards based on the fact that when you do a movie that's this timely and has this type of conversation around it, and it means something. You know, we had Stephon Clark's brother and grandmother and, you know, his family all attend a screening of Black and Blue a couple days ago. And just to see them come out and say thank you for a movie like this, that automatically, to me, puts it in the conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of like, you know, what are we doing? Because you could always vote for some art house movie where some guy, you know, shoots a movie without ever cutting or whatever that might be. But when you make a movie that actually speaks directly to the culture and it actually makes you ask questions about what's going on and why aren't police officers telling on other police officers when they are killing someone, then I think you got something that is awards worthy. So, yeah, I would need everybody to go out and see this film, man, and really support it and check it out.
And she is such a strong actress. She plays the role so well. You can see she cares. You picked the right actress for this film. And let me ask you a question. Did Tyrese have to gain weight for this role, or was he already just kind of juicy when it came to the set? I was curious.
Yeah, he put on a little weight for the movie because I wanted Tyrese in this film to not be Tyrese. And I hadn't seen him do anything like this, you know, since John Singleton's Baby Boy. And this was a very hard fight for me to get Tyrese because the studio was like, they don't want him. And I'm like, I need him. I don't want to use any new actors. I don't want to use any of the new people that y'all think are hot. I want Tyrese Gibson. And I wanted Tyrese because you forget Tyrese is incredible. We forget John Singleton is who discovered Tyrese, right? And you forget how his chops are. And this movie now has let everyone see, oh yeah, that Tyrese. So for the movie, I wanted him to have the facial hair. We wanted him to have a little bit of weight on him. I wanted him to get away from being the singer, the actor from Fast and Furious. I wanted him to embody and become a real guy that's just trying to make ends meet that works at a store. And for that, he did all those things I asked, and he became Mouse in this film, which was absolutely incredible. And now he's, you know, obviously receiving rave reviews from people like this is best performance ever. And that's what you want as a director. You want actors to challenge themselves. You want to be in a box and make something different. You want people to come out the theater and be like, damn, I never seen them like that. And that's part of filmmaking, you know what I mean? And I'm just happy that he was able to do the movie. I'm happy that he was able to listen, and he wanted it just as bad as me. And together, man, made a beautiful piece of film.
And speaking as a director, what type of vision do you have to have when you are directing a film? Well,
vision is, you know, I don't know. I can't speak for any other filmmaker, but for me, I know personally, I actually can see the movie before I shoot it. So when I read a screenplay, I know what the movie looks like. So I'm directing from images in my head. I already see kind of what that moment looks like, what those scenes feel like. I've already seen that, you know, that run chase sequence. So now it comes to just being on the day and actually executing what I'm seeing in my mind. I know there are some filmmakers that storyboard a whole movie where they don't see it visually. They have to draw it out. I think for me, because I've been doing this so long independently, and we've always had to work with no money and no time and never had a chance to come back for reshoots, I've always been very, very good on my feet. So, you know, I'm used to doing 40, 50, 60 setups in a day, you know, 10 pages in a day. Like, I'm used to moving very aggressively and very fast because of where I come from. So when you get on a movie set and you got a little bit more money than you normally have and more time, it just makes it that much greater for you because now you have more time to play and try different things. But yeah, me personally, I actually can see what I'm shooting before I shoot it, and that's been a really, really good gift for me.
That's great. And what other projects can we expect to see from you?
So, a bunch. We just finished a really, really psychological thriller that I'm so excited about. It's done. It comes out next year with Hilary Swank and Michael Ealy called Fatale. It's a beautiful movie set in L.A. It's like actually Fatal Attraction meets Basic Instinct. I'm so excited about that. It's so good. Hilary Swank is amazing in it. And then I start shooting again here in about 3 weeks. I have a really big project that I've been working on called Free Agents, which is a football heist movie, which will be my biggest film to date. That will come out summer 2020. And then I wrap that film, and I'm actually going to be in New York for half a year doing the Pee Wee Kirkland story. So, yeah, we got a lot of really good things happening. And top of the year, we're dropping Meet the Blacks 2, which would be great. So, yeah, we're just swinging, man, and running.
Oh,
Swinging and running.
Now I heard you were going to be working with Jamie Foxx. Is that true?
Yeah, we got a couple of things that me and him are doing. We both did All-Star Weekend together, which is supposed to come out sometime next year. And then we have a project that we're building out right now together that should be pretty incredible. Hopefully he'll drop into this Pee Wee Kirkland story. I think he would be amazing to play Pee Wee Kirkland out of Harlem. So we'll see.
Well, Deon, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so proud of you, what you're doing. You're forging forward with our stories, and that's what I want to say, with our stories. And I feel that that's so important for us and our community. And like I said, this movie, Black and Blue, it took courage to tell this particular story. And that's all I got the whole time as I was watching it. And she played that character who cared. And that's what we're looking for, even as a people. When you see something being wrong, even on the police force, speak up, say something. And we just want to make sure that there is somebody there who's willing to speak up for the victim when you see something is wrong. And that's what we want everybody to do, even the people that are there to protect and serve us. And in this film, at the end, I felt like she was protecting and truly serving her community. That's what I got out of this film.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. And thank you for seeing it. Thank you for all the support. And, and I just want to make sure I tell you, thank you for, allowing me to be on your platform each and every time we have something. It's absolutely incredible. And we need more people like you. So I appreciate you. Thank you. And everybody out there, if you can, please, 100% go check out Black and Blue. You will be thrilled. You will have a blast in the theater. And it's an important movie for us to actually get behind based on the fact that it is the first movie ever with a Black female lead playing a police officer in film history. That's number one. But number two, the movie is dealing with body cams and police corruption, and it has an important message about just simply being the change. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you. And everyone, you will not, hear me, you will not be disappointed. So again, thank you so much, Deon, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, can't wait to talk again. Bye.